Hello, my beautiful friends. The day two of the spring equinox. Happy spring equinox, or what's the opposite of spring in the southern hemisphere? Autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere. We're going to continue to build from what we started yesterday. Today we have three amazing speakers for you. We've got Lindsay Wells, a Reiki Qigong master who helps empaths and entrepreneurs break free from all blocks, past traumas, so they can thrive doing what they love to create. Um, she's got a very special 1 hour workshop planned for you guys today. And she's calling it Self-Made Millionaire-Rest Mindset on Self-Love and Self-Care, Daily Habits for Deep Healing, Breaking Free from All Blocks, and Achieving Success. She'll also be talking about self-discipline and boundaries as your own boss in your spiritual business. And then stay tuned. Right after that, we've got Merle Tracy helping us with learning how to keep our health and vibrancy and energy higher and higher, followed by Vin Nolan, our Dragon Master, Demon Slayer, soul brother who does great work with protection, boundaries, and all that good stuff. So please let us know where are you tuning in from? What is your number one intention for today? And give it up for our very special guest, Lindsay Wells, who I've had the privilege and pleasure of working with. What a great, one of our greatest students, in the sense that she joined the retreat, one of these retreats months ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and created her first, $10,000, $20,000 package. And everything, she's one of our graduates in the Infinitely Abundant Healer program. And throughout the whole program, we were so inspired by her wins. She just kept on creating these packages, selling high-end packages, and claiming more and more of her brilliance. Lindsay, you're an amazing inspiration, and I love knowing that you took a chance on yourself and you are blessing it forward by helping all these other amazing women in your practice. Welcome to the spring equinox.
Thank you, Tarek, for that amazing introduction.
Please take it away. I'm right here in the background if you need anything.
Thank you. So as you guys can probably tell, I'm a little under the weather from all these seasonal changes going on here in Virginia. It's kind of like spring, winter, spring, summer, and now it seems like it's getting nicer. So I'm really excited about the warmer weather coming through for the spring equinox. And so I'm super excited to get into the topic today. And I realized that all of those things that Tarek was reading that I do, when I was preparing to get on here live and I was in the shower listening to my music, it hit me. I was thinking, what should I call everything I do? Because I'm like, I help spiritual entrepreneurs with their business. I help with self-mastery and self-love and care and relationships. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to call it soul alignment. So I'm a soul alignment coach. That's what I do. I bring people into alignment with their divine assignment. I help them with their relationships, their money blocks, their anything and everything that's going on. I just help clear what's in the way and get them in alignment with what's really for them for their divine assignment. And so that's what I'm going to start calling it. So I'm super excited about that. And today is all about releasing the old and ushering in the new. And it's a really powerful day for new beginnings. It's the new moon in Aries too. And so it's all about releasing what's no longer serving you. And then we're going into a new astrological year, which I'm super excited about. So whatever you're really highly focused on and thinking about today is going to manifest for the rest of the year. No pressure. And so I want to get into that on how to take care of yourself and have that self-loving care and really master your thoughts and master your feelings and master what you're bringing about and what you're creating in your life. And so I have some notes here that I'm going to go from. So it's going to be like intuitively guided. And then also some notes because I am learning from a course that I won from a multimillionaire. So she's given me a lot of insight into her brain and the way she structures her business and the way things work as well to help me with structuring and creating better boundaries. So a lot of healers and spiritual entrepreneurs struggle with their boundaries because we have these big hearts and we really love and care about people. But it's really, really important to take care of yourself first. I've learned the hard ways. That's how I learn. It's to take care of yourself first and put your self-love and care first and then others, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And so as a healer, realizing that, yes, you are here to have compassion and you are here to change lives of others, but at the same time, you're here to make sure you're running your business and it's not running you. That's something that Akila taught me that I wrote down here. To make sure that you're setting this in, Tarek, you taught me like so much about running a spiritual business and about up-leveling and owning your worth. And so making sure you're running your business and it's not running you. And I'll get deeper into that in a minute. But a great way to release whatever's standing in your way is, first, you have to figure out what it is. So like, are you caring too much? Are you being distracted? Do you have any self-sabotage going on? Any inconsistency? Right? So if you do something every day, even if it's small, even if it's just daily income producing activities is what we call it in Mary Kay. I do that as well. If you just do a little something every day, like baby steps has been coming through spiritually a lot last night and this morning too, baby steps to get you closer to your main goal, then you won't be so, like if you're dealing with overwhelm in your life or your business or distractions or self-sabotage or inconsistency. I see a lot of people, the reason they're not getting where they want to go is because they get so overwhelmed by everything going on and they're not doing the steps. They're not doing the daily activities to get them closer to their goals. So consistency is really key. Consistency is key in everything in your life, whether it be relationship with your self-love and care. So every morning, you guys, whether I feel like it or I don't, I get up and I manage whatever thoughts are coming through my mind. And so when you start to become more self-aware, as I'm sure a lot of you great healers and entrepreneurs on here are, but we can always be even more self-aware, right? When you start to become so self-aware that you recognize, okay, is this thought really me, or is it my inner child? Is it a negative pre-programmed thought, like it's just running on a program? Is it just, my anxiety? Is it, if you guys know about spiritual and psychological attacks, is it that? What is it? Whatever it is, it needs to be addressed and it needs to be transmuted into something positive. And so a great way to do that is, if those thoughts are coming up, is to become aware of it and to get into a morning practice, like a morning routine before you even talk to people, before you even get in other people's energy. Make sure you have your energy together. Make sure you have your self-love and care right before you're giving to others, before you're engaging with others, before you're sometimes as empaths unintentionally picking up on their energy field. So great ways to do that are whatever your spiritual practice is, whatever your beliefs are prayer, meditation, getting in nature. So every morning I pray, meditate, sun gaze. I love this room. It's very peaceful. Get out in nature, ground my feet, do my cleansing and protection of my own energy so that I know I can mentally and emotionally and physically handle my day, like whatever comes my way, whatever circumstances, whatever problems. Instead of seeing them as these huge, massive problems, I see them as opportunities to solve them. All right, that right. And so really getting into that self-love and care routine where you put yourself first and you get your mind, body, spirit in alignment, an emotional state in alignment before you get on a sales call or run your business or talk to your spouse if you're married, or talk to your significant other, or talk to yourself because you're listening. You want to make sure you're talking positive to yourself. Talk to your kids if you have kids, or whatever. Just take that time to really deeply connect within first, because as within, so without. And that's been a game changer for me, because even when, as long as I'm doing my routine, which actually, y'all, this week has really knocked me a little off, but I still kept going anyway, because I'm a spiritual goddess warrior and that's what I do. But it's been really hard to have these allergies hit so hard, but I've still managed to push through it because I do have that strong millionaire mindset of, okay, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do when I feel like it and when I don't. And that's something that I learned from another self-made millionaire, my national sales director, and my Mary Kay. But really just having that commitment to do what you said you were going to do, because you're not always going to feel like working your business or getting up and doing your self-care routine or going outside or whatever, but it's having that self-love and care and commitment to yourself, the dedication and the consistency, and also speaking it into existence. Like, I am now powerfully doing whatever it is you want to do, whether it's attracting like your I put my high vibe soul tribe, And I actually connected with someone this morning who was like just honest and told me exactly what's going on and how they do want to work with me and things like that. So that's who I'm drawing in, like, because I'm like, okay, I'm done with people who aren't honest, who aren't sure what they want, or, whatever. I'm just done with the bullshit. So when you declare, hey, I'm done with the bullshit and I want this, the universe is like, okay, but you have to declare that it's happening now. I can't stress that enough, that it's happening now. And when those thoughts come in, that's like, oh, it's not happening, da, 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 da. You have to correct them. You have to become mindful of them and correct them, because every thought and every feeling affects your vibration and your frequency. And so really everything is energy and frequency, and your time and money is currency. And so when you think of it like it's already done, then that battle is already won, like it's already happening energetically, right? Because everything has to happen energetically before it manifests physically. Then the physical will come. And that doesn't mean we just sit around and be like, all right, I'm just going to prop my feet up and it's going to fall in my lap. And that's cool if some of it falls in your lap, right? Because some of it will just come to you. Someone will reach out to you or book with you or whatever. But other pieces of it are taking the imperfect inspired action, like Tarek calls it, or the daily income producing activities. So to have that self-made millionaire-esque mindset, basically you have to get really clear as well on who you want to work with, like who your ideal client is. For me, it's those other spiritual entrepreneurs who are like on a mission of women empowerment, spiritual leaders and warriors, like world changers who really want more. Yes. And so I also want to share some notes I took here. All right. So like I said, getting really clear first on what's holding you back. And the reason I say that is because in order to stand in your power, you have to know what's holding you back so that you can clear it and transmute it. It's my sweet son. Hi. He's got on his shirt that says, be strong and never give up on your dreams, y'all. So yeah, I'm talking about getting clear on what's holding you back so you can stand in your power.
My nose is better.
You doing okay? He's a little stuffy too. We're both a little. I just saw 14.44.
Open windows?
I did. I opened some windows because it's seeming to be warm today.
Very warm.
Mm-hmm. And so I wrote down some things that were holding me back on the 15th of January. So any self-sabotage. Oh, thank you, Scotty. Yeah, high vibe soul trap. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, it's very important. How you start your day is how you're going to feel. And yeah, it's so, like all self-made millionaires talk about that. You're very welcome. Okay, so I wrote down like self-sabotage, any shame, any guilt, any people-pleasing, which really people-pleasing, the root of that is fear. Because you're afraid of what they're going to think, what they're going to say, etc. And even me, I'm like used to being live and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to work through my nerves. And I'm like, you go live all the time. Like, you got this, right? So just talking to yourself, like, you got this, you can do this, taking care of yourself, being easy on yourself. I've always had an issue of being too hard on myself, like thinking, you know, I have to be perfect. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to make progress every day, right? So just doing the steps daily to get you closer to where you want to be. And then the more you're doing the activity, the less you're feeling like, okay, I have to be perfect. You're like, you know what? No, I don't. I did this today and it went great and this happened. And so also celebrating your small wins will help. Celebrating your daily wins, like just winning the day versus getting caught up in, oh my God, I'm not where I want to be right now in this moment. That doesn't help. So I'm just sharing with you guys like some of my struggles that I've transmuted, like, because we've been conditioned that we don't have enough time, or we don't have enough money, or we don't have enough this, or we can't do that, or we're not enough, or whatever. And actually, we do have enough time, because time is an illusion anyway. It's not actually, it doesn't actually exist in the higher realms. It's not actually real. It's just a man-constructed concept. And Akila talked about this too. And it really hit me when I needed to hear it last September, because I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. I need to do that. Oh my God, it's early middle of the month, blah, 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 blah. Like the mind likes to be like, oh my God, we need to do, go, 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 go. And that's where you got to be like, no. I'm already doing the daily things. I'm already doing the steps. I'm already doing everything it takes each day to get where I need to be. So remembering that man created time, and man created money, and man created all these constricted systems that keep us constricted in the first place, and knowing that we have the power. Katalambano. That's a Greek word I learned from someone I follow that I really like. That means like take your power back, call it in, own it, claim it, speak it into existence. Your words are powerful. You're either speaking life or death over yourself. So be careful what you think, what you feel, what you say. So standing in your power. Also, I want to touch on it came into my being and my spirit to say this earlier. Be careful who you're surrounding yourself with. Be careful, because you become like the 5 people like in your circle. So y'all will see me solitary a lot, because I live in a very like kind of a Bible Belt, kind of like a very close, constricted minded, small minded place. So I don't want to be around too much of that energy. I can stand in my own energy and not absorb that, but I still want to be mindful of who I'm surrounding myself with. I connect a lot more with my soul tribe online. Now I have a few around me, a few far and in between. And what's funny is they didn't grow up around here, who are like soul tribe, who also believe in power of, you know, manifestation and everything like that, like the spiritual soul level stuff. But you want to be very, very mindful of who you hang around. And know that not everyone who is like smiling in your face is like really cheering you to success. That's very important to have that discernment and be careful with your energy, And all of that. So self-care and self-discipline, basically turning that self-sabotage, shame, guilt, people-pleasing, and all the fear and everything into self-care and self-discipline, into dreaming bigger. I mean, the location I'm in, I have to constantly, people will say things like, I hope this, or, they're still in that lack of hope, and they hope it happens, or, you hope you do well, or good luck. And I'm just always like, it's happening now. That's what I say. It's happening now. I am doing this. It is going to go well. And then it does. So going from stuck to flow, I wrote down as well. And then Tark taught me this one, from expensive to expansive, like dreaming bigger, from thinking small to dreaming bigger. Because if you can see it in your mind's eye and you believe it without a shadow of a doubt, it's important to have that 110 belief, then you will achieve it. So visualizing your dreams with your third eye. And if it's financial freedom you want, if it's alignment you want with soul family, like whatever you want on all levels, health, etc., then think about what doing the action steps will bring you. It's not really about the money. It's about the freedom it brings, right? The choices, the peace of mind, the fun, the rest, because rest is also productive. And so on to the Millionaireess $1 million business on your terms teaching here. Yeah, money is freedom. That, to me, that's what I look at it as. Okay, money is freedom. Money means choices. It means I'm able to have peace of mind, security, etc. Now, if you're making money and you don't have freedom, what's the point? Or even if you're making money, like say you're an entrepreneur and you have room to grow, then there's a point, there's a purpose, right? Because you can do more. But if you're making money and you're working for someone else and you don't have freedom, what's the point? You end up just going through the motions, getting stuck in the matrix, in the system. And so if you don't have, your day in your hand, if you're not running your business and your business is running you, like when she said this, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, that's not a nice way. That's not a kind way to your self-loving care to run business. So it's really important to schedule time for yourself in the morning before you run your business, time for yourself to wind down at night, time for yourself to rest and take care of you and your family too, like on the weekends or whenever it is for you, or pick a day during the week. So when you're your own boss, when you're an entrepreneur, you have those decisions. You can work your business around your life versus, having it control you. So make sure you're running your business and you're setting the standard for them to follow. Because even when you're connecting with those who are in alignment, you still have to make sure that you're not overgiving. That you're not allowing your kindness to be taken advantage of, that they're either paying in full or they're on automatic payment plans, that they're as committed as you. I mean, someone can be like a great person and friend and client, but they can still not have that drive, that be as committed as you. So you want to make sure it's equal as well. And as if you're running your own business, if you're leading others, that's on you to make sure that you're setting that standard for them, is what I learned. I learned the hard way. If you don't, then it won't work very well. Okay. So you want to make sure that money is freedom versus imprisonment, because if it's running you, you're getting headaches, you're exhausted, you're drained, you're this, you're that, whatever. So you want to make sure you have boundaries, standards, and values in your business. Make sure you come first, your faith, your family, your health, then your business. And that gives you that freedom. So she also talks about being a multimillionaire, like the 3 steps, really to build a big business. If you can afford to hire people, or when you can, that really helps you to be able to, over time, add more people to expand. And then you're freeing up your time too by having assistance, knowing that it's okay to ask for help. Value your time and energy. Like have a business partner, have a assistant, have someone help you with things that are harder for you to do. Like healers and spiritual entrepreneurs were really, really great at feeling and doing the healings and connection and everything, but maybe we struggle with more of the technical stuff. If you need technical support, have those processes in place. And I really want to touch on something really exciting, because I just saw 1227 too. So y'all, I'm really into angel numbers. Don't mind me over here catching all the angel numbers. So focusing on the wins, and there's 1227 right beside me as well. If you focus on the wins, like I was saying, like focusing on the small wins, but also you want to focus on your big wins. So for example, today is the spring equinox. Today is a new beginning. Today is the new year, the new astrological year, technically. Like everyone celebrates the new year on January 1st. But really, the new astrological year starts today, and it's really powerful, fiery energy and Aries as well. And so I invite you to, if you'd like to, focus on your wins from this past year, from like the past couple months, from 2022. The reason I say that is because when you focus on how far you've come and the things that you've accomplished that you may have once thought were impossible, it'll build your self-love, belief, confidence, and care in yourself. And then what you do is bring the soul lessons into this new year. Okay, maybe you went through some dark stuff. Maybe you're going through dark stuff now. What, instead of looking at it like, why does this have to happen to me? Look at it like, what is this teaching me? What lessons can I bring into this moment to move forward, to get from being here now to where I want to be? Really accepting where you are now, taking the lessons, and releasing the things that you don't need to move forward with you into the new year. And really a great way to create those boundaries with everyone really, whether it's friend, family, significant other, clients, is to really value your time and your energy and getting your self-love and care routine. Because when you're doing that and you're focused, you won't have time to be taken advantage of, actually. Oh, I see a message. Oh, yeah. Okay. That was old. It just says ready. We're going live. And so when you do that, what happens is energetically, it's a frequency you're putting out. People around you will start to notice, and they're going to actually start to respect your time and energy as well, because you're respecting yourself and your time and energy. So everything's a reflection. Everything's a mirror. And so when you start doing this, you're going to subconsciously, because subconscious is 95% of what we do, where 5% of it is conscious. You're going to subconsciously draw in everything you've ever wanted by releasing the attachment to it. So something I saw that I love is being connected to everything, but attached to nothing. That's how I've manifested miracles. That's how I've manifested things I never thought would come into my reality, because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on my self-love and care and my goals. And I'm just going to let go and let the divine handle the rest. Because there's only about 5% really that the conscious mind can work on. And so when you realize that you're 95% subconscious and that everything has a flow and energetic frequency, you're like, okay, by going within, everything around me shifts. And then you just watch it kind of fall into place, like, ooh, this is cool. So it's really like seeing it from a higher perspective and being like, okay, how many of you have ever been there? The more you push, the more what you want seems to pull away, or the harder it seems to be. But the more you focus and go within and trust, surrendering and trusting and allowing, trusting in yourself. Yeah, solitude helps a lot. I agree. I love my solitude. People say to me all the time, don't you get lonely? No. I'm so at peace, and I know I'm never alone. I'm so tapped in spiritually. I'm a shamanic high priestess that I am like so connected to source, God, universe, my angels, my guides, my animal beings around me, my animal spiritual guides as well, that I've learned how to be at peace within. And it took a lot. I used to get anxious. I used to get worried. I used to, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm like, okay, you know what? Everything comes together in divine timing and divine order. And I love the point you just made. It's just showing up as Facebook user. What is your name, by the way? It's like showing up as Facebook user. But yeah, that's a very valid point. Like I was touching on earlier, and I feel like I needed to speak this. Oh, CN. Oh, okay, I see. Not everyone is going to be happy with your success. And that doesn't necessarily always mean that they're a hater, because you can have friends that are just jealous because they're miserable, and misery loves company. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, how come everything's happening for her or him and not me, blah, 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 blah. So some people can just be stuck in that mindset, and later on they could come out of it and do better and not be that way. And then of course you do have those haters who are sending you like the evil eye and all that. So you have to be very careful of protecting your energy and mindful of who you're sharing things with. I learned that, like, people who are legit your friends, like when you're sharing your successes, they're going to be happy for you. They're going to be cheering you on. Oh, good. Okay. Maybe someone on here needed it. So that's the reason that Spirit was like, hey, you need to talk about this. I'm like, really? Yes. Okay. I'm like, all right, guys, go. So, like, I have to listen to my guidance, or they'll be like, I told you to. Love you guys. And so it'll just get louder. Like, for example, I didn't listen to my own guidance that was like, be silent. Be silent about your massive blessings. Like, everybody's not going to be happy about it or cheering you on. And yes, no weapon formed against God's chosen people shall prosper. But why the hell do you want weapons? They're annoying. Why do you want warfare when you can just move in silence and slay them with success, is what I say. Kill them with kindness. Because the weapons can form through people who are pretending to be your friend, who are pretending to be supportive, when they're actually, in their mind, they might be betting on your downfall. They're like, yeah, okay. Like, they don't really believe or support in you. So it's really important to discern who those people are and to love them from a distance. Or block and delete them as needed. I mean, I do that too. It just depends on the person. Can you love them from a distance? I mean, even if they're blocked and deleted, you can love and pray for them over there, right? But you don't need that negativity and drama in your life and on your path. Like when you are chosen for big, great things, you need to make sure you're keeping yourself and your energy clear and being mindful of the people around you, right? I mean, I have to literally like monitor my family because I am the generational curse breaker in my family line. So I have to kind of like reteach and what's the word? Unfuck myself for sure, but rewire. I'm rewiring generations of trauma, of cycles. It's not without difficulty, but it can be done. And so, yeah, I invite you to focus on your wins, any small or big wins, and what you're bringing with you into this astrological new year and what you're not bringing with you as well. Also. And so if you guys would like, I can share some of my highlights of the year, because like I already reflected on this when I was going through it, but it's always nice to reflect. And I'm seeing 13 right here, which is the goddess number. So I did 13 highlights from my year. And I really need to look at these more so that when the negative thoughts or like daily, every day I'm getting up, I'm doing my prayers, my manifestations, my routine to monitor that, to work on that, to stay in alignment. Basically, it helps you stay in alignment and less easily knocked off your alignment for your divine assignment. Okay, so what are my highlights? I'll just give you guys some examples. I reclaimed my inner divine feminine power, like I was talking about. I magnetized what I wanted to me versus feeling like I was constantly pushing, trying, going. I started going more within and trusting my intuition and divine and just watching the pieces fall more into place around me. And it took a lot of daily inner work and self-care. Like I always say, self-care is a full-time job. I'm serious. It's a lot. It's not for the faint of heart. I connected with soul clients and family. I sold my first in full package. I was trying to do that for like a year or something. And so really by going within and just finally working on all those limiting beliefs of like, you know, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, how are you going to do that? Oh, you know, the mind likes to get in the way and say all these things that aren't true. But all that work got me to the point of being able to keep going and align with those clients by not giving up. That's really important. Like I said, consistency is key. Not everyone you connect with on like I do chakra readings, I do High Priestess Tarot, I just had a self-discovery like breakthrough call earlier this morning, which was in alignment. And that person did have honesty and integrity and things and reached out to me because they genuinely want help. Something Tart taught me that I've really been utilizing lately. Because I'm like, I'm so tired of any people taking advantage of my kindness. Like I got angry the other day. Like I was like fire was going through me because I had done my Qigong and I had actually Qigong. What that does is it unsuppresses the anger because emotions can get constricted and trapped in our body, and the Qigong will actually unleash it to be transmuted into the pain to be transmuted into power and purpose and passion. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm on fire, right? But it was a good fire, like burning what's no longer serving you and realizing what you will and won't allow. And so when I'm on my lives, what Tarek taught me is an amazing infinity healer and mentor, like changed my whole life, is saying things like, please save this only for those who are serious. Okay. That is so important. Like if you're doing a live, he calls it a call to action, saying, please save these calls, booking these calls in only with those who are serious about their healing. And yeah, like they mean business. They're not just trying to fuck around and be like, hey, can you tell me what's going on so that I can do nothing about it? You don't want those kind of people, because it's draining, because you're giving them all this information and then they're like not utilizing it. They're not really listening to you. They're not on your frequency. So you want to call in those who are on your frequency and stop talking to people who aren't listening, and get in front of the people who are listening, who are learning, who are rising, who are those that you are actually soul contracted to guide. And so when you put it like that, and it's your energy, and you're like, only those who are serious about working through their healing and da 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 da, it makes a big difference. And then you book with those who are serious about it versus those who are like, oh, hey, what's going on? I'll do it later. And then later becomes never. Just saying, most of the time. Now, not always. There's those few who do it later, but 9 times out of 10, if they say later, later becomes never. So I encourage you to do it now and to take the steps now. If you're on the fence about anything, just do it. Taking the leap is much better than wondering what could have been. And so what else? Let's see. Breaking generational curses. Whew. That's been fun-filled, but very purposeful and rewarding. Balancing inner divine and feminine and masculine energies. Oh my gosh, that's really important to be able to take those actions, but also rest and trust that it's coming together. Winning that Make That Millions program because of all the inner work. Like I remember just laying there, y'all, and doing all this like shamanic high priestess like work on my blocks and unwiring, because I do like really advanced chakra healing, and there's all kinds of advanced energy centers and meridians in our body. And I'm like, okay, I got this. And just fully believing that it would happen. Like when she said it, I was like, that's mine. That's mine. And then it happened because I believed it would happen. I want to do like a little exercise that just popped in my head before I wrap this up. But so I also wrote down like I made it. Like I made it through what tried to completely break me. So the fact that you made it to this point, you guys, like just celebrate that. That's huge. I was saying that to one of my clients yesterday. She went through a lot. Like, give yourself a hug. Like, you made it this far. You made it this far despite all the obstacles and challenges, despite anything any enemies had for you. You made it through it all. And I was touching on that, like, just that you made it to this point and being grateful for everything that you have in this moment, and then just creating more. And I need those reminders too, as well. I created my first album. Yeah, I haven't done like huge things with my music yet the way I want to, but so what? You got to start somewhere. So it's like, okay, what have I done so far and what can I do more of? So I want to do more with it. So I'll make a goal and a vision board to do more with it. I remembered my ancient powers on a soul level that I put to slay ancient evils. Pretty much, yes. I learned to trust myself, source, God, and universe on a whole other level. Like a whole other level. So many miracles in disguise. I put only up from here, on the rise. So from November 2021 to November 2022, I sold like 10 packages. And also I had like 10 of my VIP healing groups, which is like for the chakras and soul retrievals. And I put that it worked because I'm being my authentic self. So I'm attracting my soul clients. And I put from 10 to 110. So when you believe in yourself and your dreams, you can quantum leap and make even more happen. So I don't want just, like one-on-one coaching anymore. I want to move into groups, like more, doing more, reaching more people. That's why I put 10 to 110, because when you do, group healing, so if you're a healer and spiritual entrepreneur, when you have, another thing she taught is working in groups where you can reach more people at once. You can reach 100 people versus 2 or 3 a week. Like you can make a bigger impact by working with the Facebook groups, or you can do it on Zoom or however you want to do it. But you can make a bigger impact that way versus just doing the one-on-one sessions. And then you can make your one-on-one sessions more exclusive and more, elusive, more like exclusive. It's like if people want to work one-on-one with you, make that higher than your groups. And yeah. And so then that all comes together as well. And if I get a little like all over the place, that's because I am highly connected spiritually. I am a Cancer sun sign who tries to stay structured. And so I have, another thing, you guys, write things down in your planner. That's how I keep track of my schedule. Like when I have clients, if it's a massage client or if it's a spiritual healing client or if it's Mary Kay or a meeting or whatever it is, I write it down, or I'll forget about it, or it won't get done. And so I encourage you to write down your schedule and write down your goals and your dreams, and to also read over them frequently. And so before I close out, I want to do a technique. So it's like a visualization technique. So now that we've been talking about what we're grateful for, what our wins are, and what our goals are, whatever your goals are for you in your life right now, we need to take a moment and take some deep breaths. And see it in your mind's eye. But what I want you to do first is imagine like a rose, like a flower. That's very synchronistic for today because everything's blooming right now with the spring equinox. Imagine it like in your left hand, your receiving hand. This is an ancient, like 5,000-year-old Hermes technique from ancient Egypt, a visualization technique. Imagine you're literally smelling that flower, tasting it, feeling it, visualizing it, and you just kind of put it like into your mind's eye or your third eye. And it's like just right there, like kind of in the middle of your brain. And there's a reason I'm doing this. So imagine like that you have a projector screen in your brain and it's projecting onto like a canvas what your dreams are. So it's really important to smell it, feel it, taste it, believe it. Like you're creating the moment in the future when you're focusing on the results. That like it's happening now, and these are the results that are happening. How do you feel? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you joyful? Who are you with? What do you smell? What do you see? So a great way to do this, you can even actually take cards and write it down. Like you can write down your manifestations, but right now you can visualize like a card in your hand of what one of your big goals are. And just like put it on that screen. How does it feel? Turn the volume up. Like you have to feel it because it's frequency. The universe only responds to your frequency. So if you feel the results and you visualize the results and you taste the results and you tap into it happening in your reality, then it will happen. And then the other piece of it is just having your mind believe that it's happening. So when you visualize it with your third eye, with your spiritual self, with your feelings, with your heart, with your soul, with everything, it's just getting the mind and body, heart and soul into alignment and clearing out anything that's standing in the way of you fully believing you can have it. So let's do that now. Let's clear out any and everything standing in the way of you fully believing that you can have whatever it is that you are dreaming of having more of or having in your reality right now. Together we can stop the spread of you. Sorry. Misinformation. Ugh. Okay. Just saw Awakening Planet pop up here. Empower your soul and raise your vibration. So yeah, the world might be in chaos right now, but we can assist the planet with raising our vibration and making that bigger impact by fully believing, trusting, and allowing that we can make that bigger impact, and by putting faith over fear. And clearing out all self-doubt, fear, thoughts, feelings, entities, energies, anything that doesn't belong in our field, clearing it out and staying in alignment with what we're visualizing, the results, knowing and feeling and believing that you can do anything and you'll be fearless in pursuit of your dreams. You're welcome, Heather. Glad it's helping. You're very welcome, Ozzy. So taking a few more deep breaths and really embodying whatever your goals are. What does that look like for you? What does it feel like to be in your ultimate dream reality? To be a self-made millionaire? To be free on all levels? Financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? To be fearless? To live it? To own it? To take the steps daily to do it? Oh, yay. Very welcome. I'm sending you guys lots of love and healing for anything limiting that may be in your mind, body, emotions. Feeling some blocks and stuff intuitively. Sending you guys lots of healing waves. Wind, waves, healing waves.
Love it.
Oh, you've got water running. That's perfect.
Do I?
Thought I heard water.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you guys hear water? Because I don't hear water.
I don't know what that is.
I see in flow.
Maybe I'm just hearing the ocean.
You're like so tapped in, you're hearing the ocean. Lindsay, thank you so much for holding space for us, for all those gentle reminders, for nurturing us, nourishing us, supporting us with your wisdom, inspiration. Some more comments here. This has been very, very thought-provoking. Thank you, Lindsay. Danielle says that. Nirjini says, thank you, Lindsay. That was so valuable. Olga says, I'm a fan.
Thank you.
And then there's a Facebook user that says, I'm flowing water. Or maybe
Yeah.
you tune into our next guest, who is a Pisces, if I have it correct. Manisha says, thank you, Lindsay, for the beautiful process.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you all for being here.
Lindsay, you've come such a long way. I see you. Keep shining. Thank you so much. And I would love it if you could just share with our audience, for women healers out there. I mean, I've been doing this work for 13 years now. And for women healers who might have been where you were before your first retreat and before you signed up to work with us in the Infinitely Abundant Healer program, and they don't believe that they can make more money. They don't believe they can take these leaps in a short amount of time and really transform and hit those financial goals and reach all these people and really tap into their purpose more fully, more powerfully. What would you want to share, just in a short, before you leave? What would you want to say to that person to help them believe that it is all possible?
To help them believe it's all possible, I would say that to look at what's going on around them right now, like in this moment, to be here now in the moment and see what's happening with what they're doing currently and what has happened with what they've done before that moment. The reason I say that is because when you look at it like that, you realize that the only way to get somewhere you've never been is to do something you've never done.
Mm-hmm.
To just take that chance, to make that choice, to make the change. Otherwise, things will stay the same. And do they want to really be the same and stay stuck the way they feel? Or do they want to take the chance to come out of it?
I love it. And for the more grounded Virgo-minded people out there like myself, can you share like a little bit of your story before we conclude, in terms of like what were you charging, earning,
Yeah.
and then how soon you started creating packages and selling them, and what do you feel allowed you to do that in such a short amount of time?
I feel that at first, like I was undercharging for my sessions, but I could feel like in my heart and soul that I needed to raise it. And so even though I wasn't prepared mentally, and I was having a lot of doubts and fears and anxiety and blah, 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 like mentally, I took the leap of faith anyway and made that decision because deep down I knew that it was connected to my soul's purpose and vision. And then I feel like what allowed me to raise my prices and sell them so fast, of course, is your infinity healing and your mentorship. And just you had that belief in me, and then I believed in me, and then it happened because of that. Well, not just the self belief, but like the actions as well, like doing the steps.
Yes. And what is one of your biggest wins that you've had with your packages and clients?
My biggest win is when I sold one in full, but also the fact that I also sold like bigger ones on payment plans. And so, yeah, 12K is the biggest I sold on a payment plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just connecting with those people who see you and get you is just life changing as well. Because for so long I was connecting more with people who didn't. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Lindsay, let people know where they can reach you and what you've got going on.
Okay. I'm on Facebook. I can put my
We've got your link highlighted right now, Ancient Healing.
look at Nurjarini, you're on it.
Yes.
That's my website. And then I'm also on Facebook, Instagram.
Priestess _ LW.
She's got it. Nurjarini has it going on.
Thank you so much, Nadrini, for sharing those links. Thank you, Lindsay, for your time and energy. Let's all send her
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
energy, blessing, hug, and appreciation. Keep shining, sister. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you. Happy
Thank you so much for having me. Keep shining.
And Star Traveler says, thank you, Lindsay. I feel some energy move through. And there's a Facebook user who says, I'm flowing golden water from Brazil, but from the waters from Egypt.
Nice.
Egyptian connection.
I love that.
Love the Generation Curse Breaker.
Oh, you heard the water too?
Everyone's hearing the water except me. It makes a lot of sense. Curse Breaker, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, big hugs. Say hi to your Piscean sun and to all your beautiful kitties.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye. All right, guys, let's keep it going and flowing. Our next guest is a fellow soul sister, Merle Tracy Galloway, founder of the Body Trust Process. Taps into her wisdom to help spiritual entrepreneurs to make out their unique genius codes for creating a juicy, healthy life. Her clients get instant energy, help with releasing belly fat that they might have been stuck with for years, eczema issues, skin issues, gut issues, a whole bunch of health-related topics. Please give a warm welcome to the goddess, Merle Tracy. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks. How you doing?
Excellent. Miss you. I feel like it's been forever. I'm so glad
No,
you're
right? Yeah, it's great to connect.
And you are Pisces sun, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right. Mermaid
March
mode.
2nd.
Mermaid goddess. All right. Beautiful. Well, please take it away. I'm right here in the background if you need anything, okay?
Okay, beautiful. Great. So hello, everyone. It's been a great summit so far, hasn't it? If you're really enjoying it, just type a yes, yes in the comments and let's know how you're enjoying it. Thanks, Nisharini. Long time. So why don't you share a little bit about what I do, the process I work with, how I got started in the process. And what I've done is a few years back, I was going through a really, really tough time in terms of my marriage. And I had gotten really sick and I didn't know what was going on. Excellent. Glad you guys are enjoying it. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Great. Good, good, good. Great, Danielle. So I'll definitely share more about those because I experienced quite a bit of those. So yeah, a few years back, I was going through a really tough time in my marriage. And what I realized was that I noticed that my skin was breaking out with little rashes. And I was wondering what on earth is happening with my body. And the first thing that happens when we get sick is we go see a doctor. So off I went to see the doctor, wondering what on earth was happening with my skin. And when I went there, the doctor diagnosed me with something called atopic dermatitis, which is just a fancy name for eczema. And so he gave me all these medications. And I thought, yes, at least my skin won't be rashy and oozy anymore. But when I took them, guess what happened? I'm sure you can guess. My skin, my diseases actually got worse. My skin became oozy and scratchy and scaly. And I went to a different doctor hoping I would get a different diagnosis, and none of that worked. And what I did was I took some time off and I went to a health retreat center. It's the Ann Wigmore Institute. And if you're not sure about Ann Wigmore is the lady who started the wheatgrass phenomena. So she helped people in terms of healing with wheatgrass and raw living foods. And when I went there for a few weeks, after a few weeks, I noticed how quickly my body changed as a result of putting great things in my body and changing the way I thought. And so one of the things that happened was as a result of me getting sick and having those challenges with my body and my marriage at that time, my body was speaking to me, but I wasn't listening. And how many of us actually take the time to listen to our body? So my body was telling me that, hey, something isn't right. Hey, your boundaries are being broken. Hey, you need to stand up for yourself and create better boundaries, but I wasn't listening. And I didn't trust what my body was telling me. And if you've ever been in a situation, so I'm sure I'm not the only one who've ignored the signals of your body and not trust your body, type a yes or me too in the comments. Let me know that I'm not the only one who's ignored my body signals, ignored what's happening with my body, and ignored the messages and the internal signs that our body was giving us. So if that's happened to you, type a yes, yes, and let me know that I'm not the only one. Great. Good. And so after being there and being able to listen to the innate wisdom of my body and what's happening internally and learning to, yes, absolutely, absolutely. And listening to what was going on there, I realized that most of the time, if we actually gave our bodies the ability to actually speak to us, and it does, but if we actually took the time to actually listen and really listen to what's going on, then our body actually works in harmony with us and wanting us to heal versus us ignoring it and putting random things in our bodies that actually creating it to go out of getting it out of balance and getting it to go haywire. Are you following? Is that clear so far? If you're following and that's clear, just type yes. Let me know that you're following what I'm saying. Good. So after a few years of doing raw foods and listening to my body and like feeling, it did go away. My eczema healed out. After feeling like a brand new person, then I really got into the work and I got into like just really, really pushing my body at the other end of the spectrum. And there were things happening at work. There were things happening in the environment I was in. And you know what? I didn't listen again. I didn't say, okay, Merle, there's some people that you're working with that are, creating toxicity in your world. There's some people that you're working with that aren't the right persons for your team. But because I was trying to be nice, because I wanted everybody to like me, I did not listen. I didn't listen to my innate wisdom and the trusting. My body was telling me one thing. My body was sending me signals. I was feeling ill, I was feeling like getting signals again. But was I listening? Was I trusting my innate knowledge? No, I started ignoring it again. And what happened again? I got sick again for a second time. And this time, at least I had the tools to get myself better. But this time I said, you know what? No more. Like this is actually not making sense. This isn't actually a good way to live. And so I actually had to create boundaries, to get rid of those persons, but actually develop trust in myself again. And one of the things that I find is, if you listen to commercial television or TV, or if you listen to news or anything like that, you're going to hear, ask your doctor if you should do this, or ask your doctor if you should do that, or if you recommend somebody, you should try doing a detox, or you should try doing a cleanse, or you should try doing a fast. What's the first thing you're gonna say? Well, you should check with your doctor first before you should get involved in that, or you should check with your doctor first before you you go raw food or do a smoothie detox or something like that. But when you're out and you're drinking or you're smoking or you're taking drugs, no one says go check with your doctor. Society is set up so that they create these systems that they say, oh yeah, you should do that. And no one says, oh, you should check with your doctor before you go drink a can of Coke. No one says check with your doctor. Or if you have heard that, tell me you have. But I haven't heard anyone say that. Have you? Let me know in the comments if you heard someone say, oh, check with your doctor before you go drinking. I know I haven't. But for something that's related to your health or something that's related to you increasing your well-being, then it becomes questionable. It becomes like you have to ask an outside source to do what is right for your well-being and what's right for your health. Am I being clear? Does that make sense? And so what I want us to do is really get into the process of learning how to trust ourselves, learning how to trust our gut, because our gut, which is where our third chakra and the source of our power lies, has wisdom, has truth, has all the knowledge that we need. But we've actually been so trained out of trusting it. We've been so trained out of actually trusting our gut. We've been so trained out of actually listening to what our intuition and what our body wisdom is telling us. And what if we were learning to actually trust our instinct, trusting our gut? Because when we talk about gut health and when we talk about healing, it's actually a lot more than actually the physical food that we put into our bodies. And we will get into some foods and some things you can do in terms of healing your gut. But in terms of actually listening to your gut, listening to what is happening there, listening to your intuition, that gut feeling, that gut feeling is a lot more than just, a saying. It's actually a feeling that's right there in your gut, that feeling that allows you to trust yourself, that we actually ignore a lot of times and we don't actually listen to. And that's why it takes a while longer for us to heal, or that's why it's easy for us to actually give our power away to someone else versus actually believing and trusting ourselves. Are you with me? Are you following? Type a yes if you're following what I'm saying, or if you have any questions. Yeah, so I guess the chat takes a while to respond in a few seconds. So I'll just continue. But one of the things that happened is when I actually went through and healed from those illnesses, one of the things I promised myself, excellent. One of the things I promised myself, how do we overcome doubting our intuition with the mind? So one of the things that I find really helpful is actually learning to trust ourselves again, because our bodies are so used to not trusting. Our bodies are so used to us lying to ourselves. We actually make promises to ourselves and we don't keep it. It's actually easier for us to keep promises to other people than it is to keep promises to ourselves. And so one of the things that you can do to overcome doubting our intuition is begin celebrating small wins or small commitments that you've made. So for instance, say you say to yourself, okay, body, and you close your eyes and you listen. Hey, body, which even if like something small as being in front of a buffet line, it's like, hey, body, which food do you think I should eat to feel better? Or body, which food do you think I should eat to give me more energy? And just listen quietly, and your body's actually gonna give you like a little signal. And even if you think that signal is weird, or even if you think that, I don't really normally eat asparagus, why am I attracted to it? Listen to it, try it, do what it is that your body says. And then when you do it, like give yourself like an affirmation, go, yes, I did it. So you're actually making it somatic. So you're actually making the belief somatic in your body as well as in your mind, because you want both your body and your mind to work in synchronicity, to synchronize and actually be working towards achieving your goals. So you want to do things and celebrate the wins that you've done, or even something small. One of the things I do with my clients is we actually go on a 72-hour dopamine diet, a dopamine fast. And what it is that you ask your body, hey, body, what is it that I want to do today? And then you celebrate those things that you've done. So you do those things that make you happy. So for instance, you say to myself, this morning, I'm going to go for a walk. And when you go for a walk and you actually do that thing that you promised yourself you would do, then you celebrate, you make a big deal out of it and you go, yes, I did it. And you actually make it seem like you just won the lottery. And your body would be a little bit like, that's kind of strange. But by celebrating and honoring what your body is doing, you're actually sending energy and celebrating that win and allowing your body to feel like, hey, yes, we're working together, we're doing things together, and we're creating changes and making the life that we want step by step. Does that help? Let me know if that answered your question, or if you'd like me to go into more detail with that one. So yeah, just celebrating the small wins. Like for instance, if you promise yourself, hey, I'm gonna drink my water. When you drink your water, celebrate it, make it a big deal. Make it a big deal. I know it might seem strange for 72 hours, you're walking around saying yes, celebrating, acting like you've won the lottery, but you actually are, because you're celebrating being honest with yourself. You're celebrating taking care of yourself. You're celebrating being truthful and authentic to yourself. So celebrating those wins and putting it in your body, so your body's actually feeling a physical as well as mental resonance. It's actually very cognitive. So when you have all those processes working together, then it actually lands in your body, and your body's actually being trained in a new way of your beingness. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Yeah, and also one of the things, somebody was also asking about gut health. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It is a lot like self-cuddling. Somebody was also asking in terms of your body health, like what are some of the things that you do? And just a couple of tips, you could do just to make sure that you're starting off your day on the right track, and also putting yourself as a priority. And we could go into further details in terms of how you connect not just your health goals with all the other goals in terms of your financial goals, your emotional goals, your relationship goals, and how all those tie together to create the life that you want. But I'm just going to give you a few tips that you can do starting today, like 5 tips to make sure that you're taking care of your gut health, but also taking care of your overall well-being and that you can wake up feeling better. So one of the first things that we do in the morning when we get up is a lot of times, most of us actually start off the day on somebody else's schedule versus our own schedule. So the first thing we do is we actually start off and we go check social media. We go check and see what the world is doing. We go and figure out, oh my God, I wonder what Merle's up to today. And we go check social media, the news, check everything else. But what I would recommend is you would sleep with your phone in a different room, or at least 6 feet away. So if your bedroom is connected to your bathroom, if you have that, if your house set up that way, then you can sleep with your phone in the bathroom, so you're not getting those rays affecting your sleep, because the quality of your sleep highly, highly affects the quality of your gut and also the quality of your health in general. So sleep with your phone away from you. If your room is further away, keep it at least 6 feet away so that the waves from your phone doesn't affect your sleep pattern. So that's one way of protecting your health and your well-being. A, you sleep with your phone away from you. B, don't check it first thing. First thing in the morning, you want to do some type of gratitude, some type of celebration of how grateful you are for being able to get up in the morning. How grateful you are that you have, that's excellent that you did that. That's fantastic, Star Traveler. How grateful you are that you can see another day and be on purpose and create what you want. So start off with some kind of gratitude. Another thing that I recommend highly is, a lot of us don't realize that when we sleep, we actually become quite dehydrated. So if you could put a mug of water, a glass of water, by your bedside before you go to bed. So in the morning, when you get up first thing, you just drink that glass of water and rehydrate your body. One, it helps to flush out toxins, but also 2, it helps with hydrating your body. And then when you're doing your water, water has so much potential energy, so much power, that you actually could say your gratitude into the water, and just whatever goals and visions that you have, you actually could speak it into the water and see it creating expansion, see it creating clarity as you go forward in your day. And doing that actually helps you to feel a lot more streamlined when you start your day. a lot more clear. And because we're 75-80% water, it actually makes you feel a lot more refreshed and whole. Okay. Another thing that I recommend that you do is avoid sleeping with television in the room that you're sleeping in. So that way, you get much healthier, much more relaxed sleep because yes. That way you actually aren't disturbing your sleep by putting things into your brain before you go to bed. That's going to be excellent, good. Putting things into your brain that's going to be detracting, but you don't want to be sleeping with that type of. It depends what you watch before you go to bed, but you want to just make sure that you're going to bed feeling a lot more calm, with the goals or your dreams of what it is that you want your life to be like as what you're taking to bed versus something on television that may not be the most uplifting. So I'll just go through some of the things I mentioned earlier is sleep with your phone at least 6 feet away from you or in another room if possible. Don't be checking in on social media first thing in the morning. Drink a glass of water. So you're drinking a glass of water and you could put your gratitude into the water or your intentions into the water. I'm sure a lot of us have heard of Dr. Emoto and a lot of the experiment and the research that he has done with water and water research. So that is something that you can do. Put your gratitude and your thoughts and your intentions into the water. And if it's just too much, just drink the water. Make sure you're enjoying it and just allow it to cleanse and hydrate your body because you lose so much liquid. You become dehydrated at night when you sleep. And then another thing that you can do as well is not if you can avoid having a television in the room that you're sleeping in, that would be great. But if you must have a television or the way your house is set up, that you have a television in the room, make sure it's off and that the light is plugged out so the light isn't disturbing your sleep before you go to bed. So those are just a couple of things that you can implement and do to make sure that you get a great sleep because we put a lot of emphasis on exercise and food, which are really critical and which I do a lot in my work. But a lot of times we forget the importance of sleep. Sleep is just as critical in terms of us creating really great health and creating healing and health in our body. Yeah, binaural beats are sometimes great. Just make sure it's something that's empowering and relaxing and that it's not distracting. But yeah, that helps a lot as well. Does anyone have any questions? I know I was given just half an hour, so I want to make sure that your questions are answered. If there are any questions that you have in terms of gut healing, meditative practices that you can do to make sure that you're beginning and learning to trust your body's wisdom, trust that inner voice, then that would be great.
Well, Tracy, did I don't remember saying half an hour. Did I tell you half an hour? You've got the whole hour if you'd like.
Oh, okay, great. I thought it was just half an hour. So
Yeah. I'd love for you to touch on the detox diet. Like, can you express to us where are we getting those? Did you say the dopamine detox?
The dopamine detox was more of a mental thing. So it's a dopamine challenge. And that
Yeah.
was 72 hours. You listen to your body and you do those things that your body wants. So if your body says rest, then you celebrate. You once you rest and do you promise yourself that you would do, then
Yeah.
you actually celebrate and you go yes, and you make a big deal like yes, I did it. You make it.
Well, can you express to us where are we getting dopamine from for those who aren't aware of the ways we're getting it, whether it's through social media or
right.
the other ways, foods, chemicals, stuff like that?
Yeah. So you're actually creating it in yourself and just celebrating so that you actually feel a high. So that same high that you feel when you get a like on Facebook, or the high that you feel when when someone says, "Hey, you're beautiful," you're actually creating that within yourself, and so that you actually feel a lot more vibrant, a lot more enthusiastic, so that your body is actually feeling excited and juicy. So actually, what I want you to do is, at the moment, there must be something that you did today that's worth celebration. So if you could just get up and you go, yes, the mere fact that you actually put your hands up and you come down and you celebrate, it actually creates that excitement, that 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 joy within yourself, and create dopamine, which is a really great hormone, great drug that you can create within yourself. Insights on raw food, of course. So what I did was, I found when I did raw food, and I did the raw food diet and the raw food cleanse, it was actually more of a lifestyle. I actually hate the word diet, but it's a word that we use a lot in our culture, because when you think of the word diet, the first three letters of the word diet is die. And so when people feel like they're going on a diet, they feel like they're dying. And so in terms of raw food or any other thing that you actually are choosing to take care of your health, think of it as a lifestyle. So now some tips on raw food is, I would recommend starting off with eating or doing some juicing, because I find with juicing or doing juicing is different to taking smoothies. But if you want a really quick way of healing and allowing your body to actually get rid of toxins, juicing is really a quick way of getting nutrients into your body. So if you could add a green juice into your daily meal. So in the morning, you could use things like cucumber, which have a really, really high water content. You could also do, and cucumbers are high in silica as well. So they're really great for cleansing and for the skin. So juicing cucumbers with a little bit of ginger, adding lime to that. Sometimes you can add carrots to it as well, but doing cucumbers with mint and ginger and lime is really a great way of just really cleansing the body, like really quickly, and getting, like, flushing out toxins, if you really want a quick way of cleansing and healing the body. But if you're wanting to do raw foods, you could actually go into it. Yeah, celery juice is good. However, for some persons, just doing raw celery by itself actually burns their stomach. So I recommend, if your body isn't at that level yet, I would recommend adding another vegetable like cucumber or carrot to it, or cucumber and coconut water, so it's not as pungent and strong. Because for a lot of persons, just doing, like I've come across when, with clients and other people I've worked with, just doing pure raw celery tends to actually create like a burning sensation for a lot of people in their gut. So start off small, or start off with something less potent. So yes, add celery, because celery has so many healing powers and so many healing properties, and celery is excellent. But just dilute it a little bit with adding some cucumber juice. That might be easier on your stomach and easier for it to digest. You could add a little bit of if you just want like a green juice, you could just add celery, cucumber, and a little bit of lime to it. Ginger is always great for healing the gut and for cleansing and for its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. So ginger is great for that as well. So just add a little bit of that to the celery. But if you don't have ginger, it's no big deal. But I would just recommend not doing the celery straight up like that. Just dilute it with a little bit of coconut water, fresh coconut water, and if you don't have access to that, with a little bit of cucumber, so that your stomach, if your body isn't used to it, don't have that burning sensation, and that it's easier for your body to digest. Okay? Yeah. Try it and see how you feel. But the feedback I've gotten from working with clients is that it's burning, and even for myself, when I do celery juice, it's always in combination with cucumber or something else a little bit lighter, so it's not as strong and potent. And especially if you're using organic celery, it tends to be it tends to be very potent. The store-bought one may not be as strong and as potent, but just dilute it a little bit and then work your way up to it and see if you want to do just the pure celery. But yeah, dilute it first and allow your body to actually work with it. And then also too, when you're creating juices and you're doing juices, you want to be able to do things that's refreshing and tasty. The thing with our culture is that we expect and we think that food, we actually misinterpret what the use of food is. Food is actually meant for sustenance and healing. I also do like my food to taste good. So you don't want to create juices and do things that's tasting horrible, that you're not going to want to drink it and enjoy it. So for me, it's important that I enjoy what I'm eating, but I know and I know what I'm doing in terms of food, and the reason why I'm eating my food is to create health, energy, and sustenance in my body. Does that make sense? Great. For people with celiac disease, normally they get triggered a lot by wheat. So if you could, if you could use substitute that is like non-gluten substitutes, then it would definitely be helpful. It'd be helpful to move your meals towards that, so that you're not getting that trigger that you get from wheat, because the gluten tends to mess up a lot of people's intestines and create havoc on their gut. One of the things I'd recommend as well is doing the cucumber juice with the celery. That's really helpful. Adding also a little bit of ginger. That's really helpful as well. And for years, I did raw food, but I also do sometimes incorporate other things with it. So I do incorporate cooked. I do eat some meat. So I also think it's really important that you actually listen to your body, that you listen to the wisdom of your body and trust what's happening. My body does better on fruits and veggies, but I would never tell anyone you have to go completely raw or this is the right way, because with the 7 billion people on the planet, there's no right way for everyone. And what I want people to learn is being able to actually listening to your body's wisdom, learning to trust your body, learning ways in which you actually like tune into your core, tune into your gut and hear, okay, what is it that my body needs at certain stage? Because at certain stages of your life and even certain stages of the month, then your body's going to require different foods and different nutrients to make it feel better and to be more optimized. So what I want to get, and what I do a lot with my work, is really getting you to actually listening. What is it that my body needs at this point? What is it that is going to make me feel more energized? What is it that I need to take, or what is it that I need to remove that is going to help me to create that feeling of being juicy, that feeling of being healthy, that feeling of being vibrant? What was that question about sclerosis? Okay. Yes. So one of the things that I would recommend as well is you want to make sure that psoriasis. One of the things that triggers psoriasis, and one of the things that was my issue, was one, most diseases and most illnesses actually start on the spiritual, emotional level first. And so healing can be done on different levels. You can start with the top-down method first, which is you start with the healing, the spiritual level. So you start healing, what's happening with your spiritual life, what's happening emotionally, and getting that sorted and allowing that to come down, because our physical body is the most dense part of our bodies. We have our spiritual body, we have our emotional body, we have our mental bodies. And so the physical body is actually the last body to actually to see the illness or to see what's happening, what's going on in your life. So you could start by doing the physical things like the juicing, clearing toxic things out of your environment, changing the way you eat, getting more vitamins, getting more vitamin D, getting out in the sun, immersing yourself in salt water, going into the ocean, exposing yourselves to those type of negative ions to create healing in your body. And then you can also start with the spiritual side and doing a mental detox and figuring out, where am I being inconsistent with my life? What things am I doing that's creating unease and inauthenticity in my body and in my life? Where am I feeling like I'm not trusting myself? Where do I feel like I'm not supported? Where do I feel like I'm not being true to myself? And in those ways, becoming more aligned and becoming more authentic so that your life is more congruent. So there are both ways that we can do it. We can do it from the top-down approach, and we can do it from the bottom-up approach, where we start with foods, where you actually could see physical changes immediately. And then with the spiritual life, where you actually realize, okay, am I being clear? What is it that I want? Where am I not being true to myself? Where am I lying to myself? Where am I not giving myself the mental and spiritual food that I need to create the life that I want? Is that clear? Heather was asking about psoriasis, and somebody was asking about cirrhosis. Okay, so yeah, in terms of psoriasis, yeah, in terms of your skin is the outer layer of your body. It's the protection. It's how how it protects your internal organs or what's happening with your internals. And so if you feel like from a spiritual level, and I'm going to go to the spiritual, and I'll give you some physical techniques and tips that you can use. But from a pure spiritual level, in terms of your life and your mental space, like in what areas of your life you feel like you're not supported, in what areas of your life that you feel like things are off and boundaries are not, because your body is a boundary. In what areas of your life are you not creating proper boundaries? In what areas of your life are you allowing toxicity to come in? And so that physical boundary, which is your skin, on a spiritual level, like what ways are you not not feeling supported or not creating the boundaries that you need to, and your body is showing you that from the physical level. In terms of from a physical point of view, in terms of what you can do on the physical plane, in terms of juicing and in raw foods, I found with raw foods, one of the things that really helped a lot is if you could incorporate things like wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is really, really healing. There's over 98 different vitamins and minerals in wheatgrass that actually helps to heal the body and heal it quickly. One of the things that I found extremely helpful was sea moss. I'm not sure if you've heard of sea moss, but using sea moss was extremely beneficial in terms of my skin and in terms of healing that. There are a lot of people online that you can get sea moss from, but just make sure you get it from a reputable supplier. One of the things I found really helpful as well is green papaya. It was really good in terms of helping my gut to heal and my digestive system. So you could do like a raw green papaya salad. You could also use the yellow papaya, and just make sure that you get the freshest one as possible. Dandelion root and the dandelion leaves, you could get those relatively easy. Those I found really, really instrumental in terms of just their potency in helping to heal and cleanse. So those are some things that you could add to your salads. Those are some things that you could add to your juices to help in terms of healing and wellness. Was that helpful? Do you have any questions? Yes. And also too, one of the things that I find really useful is sometimes based on where you're living, there are different foods and there are different herbs and there are different spices that's endemic to your environment. Like for instance, I live in the Caribbean, so there are lots of fruits and vegetables that's endemic to the Caribbean that I have access to. That's helpful to me because I'm getting things from my environment. But a lot of times, sometimes people would market, or persons trying to sell different things would market different products and different things that's from a different environment that you may not have access to quickly, but there are always things in your environment that's grown locally. If you could get things that's grown locally to your environment, grown locally to your area, it's actually more beneficial and more helpful to you because it's actually grown in the area that you're living. It's grown like things grown that you can get from a local farmer's market. That's a lot more helpful than something imported from miles away, that's been sitting in a warehouse or a truck or in a storage for a long time. So one of the things I would recommend is using things that's grown and seasonal and local to your area. You help the local environment by helping and supporting the local farmers, but also too, it's grown in your area. So a lot of the antibodies and helpful minerals are like right in your area and where you live. Someone was asking, how does one use sea moss? In terms of sea moss, what you can do is you'll definitely get sea moss at a health food store, and there are also reputable places that you could purchase it online from. What you would do is you would just get it. You make sure you rinse it properly. So I normally rinse it and soak it with lime, like fresh lime, squeeze some lime juice in just to wash it and clean it. And then some people boil it. I don't boil it though. What I do is I'll just soak it in a jar in the fridge for about 24 to 48 hours. But I make sure it's washed thoroughly and rinsed thoroughly just to clean any ocean debris off of it. Wash it and clean it, and then just you could just make your own gel by blending it. Or normally I just use the sea. It's actually a grass or a root. It's not a root. It's like it's a sea. It's an ocean plant. So spikes off the plant, I would just add that to my smoothie, or you just add it to your soups and blend it in. But it's actually really, really healing and nutritional. Yeah, getting things local and fresh is just so much more healthy. And one of the reasons why we actually become so ill and have so much toxicity in our body is that we use so much processed foods. So the simpler a food is, the less simple, the less processed it is, the healthier it is for you. So if you can get things fresh from the farmer's market, chop it up, cook it yourself. If you're into meats and you get, fresh meats without adding all the extra packaging, getting frozen, if you're eating frozen dinners and that type of things, or things from a can, those things having so much additives that those are actually more harmful to your health. So if you get fresh fruits in season, you can actually freeze them yourself. But to buy, overly processed things, frozen foods or frozen TV dinners or canned foods, those having a lot of additives that's creating ill health and creating disease in our system. So the fresher, less processed is much better. Yes. So in terms of inflammation and gut health, one of the things that creates, belly fat or creates illness in our gut is we're not putting enough good bacteria in our body. And so what we want to do is create an environment or create the flora in our body, in our gut, that actually promotes healing and promotes digestion. So in terms of inflammation and in terms of gut health, one of the things I would recommend is their capsules or tablets that you could purchase online that you could get good. I'm gonna send some. I'm gonna add some links in terms of some things that I recommend that you could add to your like little tablets to help in terms of adding good bacteria to your gut. But simple things they could do in terms of food is aloe is actually a really great um, great additive that you can add to your diet or to your meals, to your smoothies, or you could just drink it like that. That's really going to add that good bacteria to your gut. One of the things that you could do is you could just buy the aloe leaf, cut the sides off, cut off the green part, which makes it less bitter, and then just blend it up. One of the cautions though with aloe is I would just start off with maybe a small 2 or 3 inch piece, because depending on your blood pressure and your what's happening with your health, it can lower your blood pressure and make your blood pressure go a little bit low. So you just maybe want to add a small 2 inch piece to start, to make sure that you're adding that good bacteria to your yes, acidiphilus, add that good bacteria to your diet. You're welcome. You're welcome. Also, in terms of inflammation, one of the things that we really don't consider when we're talking about inflammation and gut health is our levels of stress. So cortisol, which is like a negative stress hormone, happens a lot, especially when we stress a lot. And so when we stress and create the stress response, it creates cortisol in our bodies, which actually helps in terms of destroying our gut lining because of the extra stress that we're creating by stressing out. So what I would recommend is doing deep breathing work. Yes, life happens and we're going to be stressful. And yes, things happen that's going to create tension in our body. But being able to ground, one of the things I would recommend doing is just walking outside barefoot, just to kind of reconnect and allow the earth to actually help balance us out. So grounding is recommended to release some of that stress, but also just doing deep breathing, to help release some of the stress in our body, because creating stress damages so much of our, our gut, and create the harmful response that creates ill health in our body as well. So just learning to breathe, like taking a deep breath in, like closing your eyes, counting for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding it, and then releasing, so that our bodies become more balanced, we become more calm, so we can actually handle things without being as stressed out and creating that stress hormone, which creates ill health in our bodies. Any other questions? When I start with my clients first, the first thing I do is actually become clear in terms of, let me just answer this question first. One of the first things that we do is we become clear. So it's really important to become clear. What is it that we want, and why is it that we want it? Do you want to become healthy because it fits into your overall goal? Are you doing this because you want to fit into a certain dress size, or your doctor warned you that if you keep the rate you're going, you're gonna create tension in your back, your skin is gonna be horrible, it's putting extra tension in your heart. So why is it that you want? What is it that you want? So we start off with your why. Where it is that you want to go, and then we work both ways. So the first thing to answer your question is we become clear. What is it that you want? And then we start off so that you actually could see physical results quickly. So say, for instance, you wanted to get rid of belly fat that's been bothering you for a long time. We recommend, based on your body type, and also based on what's available to you. What foods are available? What can I do today that A, is going to make me feel more energized, B, get rid of some of these toxins so that I feel better, get rid of that belly fat. So we start with being clear and then figuring out based on your resources, your body type, things you might be allergic to, your height, your weight, all those variables that go into it, your age. We go into that and figure out what's the best way that we can do right now to get your results quickly and effectively. So that's the first thing that we do. A, get clear, and then figure out what's the next step that we can do right away so that you actually could see results. But the first thing is becoming clear, getting clear in your why. Someone had a question about aloe vera. Yeah, I was saying that if you got the aloe leaf, you could get them in Mo's Health Food Store. You get the aloe leaf, and then I would recommend is starting off with like a 2-inch piece, depending on how big it is. So you start with like a 2-inch piece, about this big. You cut the sides off, peel off the green part, and you're just looking for the green. Not the green. You're peeling the green off, but you're looking for that gel in the middle. And that gel, you want to blend it. You can blend it with other juices, but you can just blend it by itself with a little bit of water and drink that, and that would really help. And it also helps in terms of your gut health. So that's one of the things that you could do, because it's a prebiotic as well. It's a prebiotic. So it helps in terms of adding that good bacteria to your body. I hope that answers your question, Miriam. You could also grow your aloe plant at home. One of the things, not only does it release oxygen at night and help in terms of your sleep, but one of the things that it does is, if you really want to get a good night's sleep, one of the things that I would recommend is for at least 10 days, get like that small piece of aloe plant and juicing it. And before you go to bed, just taking like a little shot glass full at night, and you're going to have a really, really good sleep. And it also help in terms of detoxing and clearing things out as well. If you have questions about the aloe and how to use the aloe, feel free you could send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. You could send me an email at merle@tropicalmansion.com. That's MERLE @tropicalmansion.com. And I could answer your questions about, how to use the aloe, what things that you can do, what steps you can take to make sure that you're being clear on what is it that you want, how does that fit into your overall goal? How does that fit into your overall picture for your life purpose, for your life dreams? Because a lot of times with health and with our goals and dreams, being sick and being ill keeps us from actually living on purpose. And we don't have time to not live our purpose. We don't have time to not live our goals. Our purpose for being here is to be living our life fully. So if we could get our health and wellness out the way, where we're feeling vibrant and we feel energized, that we could live fully and live on purpose, that is what we all want. Any other questions? Language differences. Okay. Did I answer all the questions? Was there something I overlooked?
No, Tracy, it's been a lot of beautiful wisdom, information. I'm inspired. I was like feng shuiing my space. I was drinking chlorophyll water and like sprouts. And thank you so much. I feel like there's tons of amazing information here. Definitely want to revisit this another time. And I love that it's like baby steps, like that's all the info. But if we could just do one thing every day, every week, we end up reaching that point where it's like, all these things are there. So the body's vibrant, healthy. Yeah, so many tips. And I'm definitely like, okay, tonight I'm going to go and make sure my feet touch the earth, and so many things.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Leave us with, if people want to ask you more questions or follow you on your social media, what's the best way for folks to do that?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Merle Tracy Galloway.
Yeah.
You can also find me on Facebook at Merle Tracy Galloway. You can also connect with me on email at MERLE at TROPICALMANSION tropicalmansion.com.
Okay. And Merle Tracy, MERLE, Tracy, TRACEY, and Galloway is GALLOWAY. So just put the at before all of that, and you will get all this amazing info. Thank you so much for taking the time and blessing us.
You're welcome.
Spring cleaning, they say spring cleaning your house, but also your body and your mind,
Yeah,
your spirit.
absolutely.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
and now's the perfect time, now's the perfect time. Like the stars are lining up to make sure that we're healthy and we're creating, reaching our goals. So yeah, now's the perfect
Now
time.
would be ideally the time to do like a detox or something like that.
What was that?
What is now the
Yeah, now's a good time because the energies are behind us to help create and also give us that motivation and that inspiration to move forward.
Got it. And just for you, Piscean soul sister, I heard yesterday we had a guest who told us sun is in Pisces, moon is in Pisces, Saturn is in Pisces for like the next several years or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
time for us to spiritually upgrade, and it's a good time.
definitely a great time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate you. And also, you're one of our graduates of the Infinitely Abundant Healer program. If there's anyone out there who really is like, really, can I really generate all this money from my gifts and my passion and my healing? Is there anything you want to share? Because we did spend a lot of time working together. Is there just one sentence you can share with them to let them know what was possible for you in us working together, and what you feel you can inspire them to let them know that it's also
Yeah.
possible for them?
Yeah, the key thing is to make sure and to know that you're supported and just feeling that support, feeling that guidance. But then also to the breakdown, because there are different modules each week that carry you through the steps. So if you're wanting to start your business, there's step-by-step strategies on doing that. But the biggest thing for me was really just the support and the guidance and the wisdom,
Awesome.
Yeah. So the wisdom, the guidance, and the healing, so that because it's a combination, it's not just, these modules with how to set up a business, but having that support and having someone to talk through, like when you're like uncertain about, am I doing the right thing? And especially when you're just starting out, you have so many doubts in terms of, can I do this? Doubts in terms of feeling like, oh, I know this, but feeling like doubting your value, and just having someone see how valuable you are and what you have to offer, and that they're guiding you. That, to me, that's what I found most valuable.
Oh, thanks, sister. It was always a pleasure, and it continues to be. Was there like a specific win that you had with one of your clients, or a package that you sold, or what would you like? Speaking of celebrating those dopamine wins, which I was doing, by the way,
Yeah.
started doing. Was there one that stuck out for you?
I remember, I think it was maybe our second or third month. And there was this lady, and I had gone over to her house, and we had just gotten off a call. And, she was mentioning something about my skin or me glowing or something. And I was like, yeah, I can help you with this. But having just gotten off the phone with you, I just felt energized. And I signed her up the next day for like $1,000 a month package. And I remember I was like, yes, I did it.
Yes, I remember that. That was awesome.
I was so excited. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I was so excited. And just feeling like, okay, there's no like, okay, and before, I would sell my detox weekly packages, but nothing was so consistent. And then being able to do that, I was like, oh my God. So it was exciting.
You're amazing. Keep shining. I'm here for you if you need anything. And do you have any new programs or launches happening soon?
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a 21-day detox where we're actually doing not just physical, but mental clarity around there. And what we're doing is we're going in. So we're giving you information, not just about food, but also from a goal perspective, being clear, what is it that you want? And then giving you an immersion for 21 days so that at the end of the 21-day process, then you come out, just feeling like almost brand new and very clear, not just physically, but mentally as well.
When is this happening, Merle Tracy?
It was starting in the middle of April.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. So reach out to Merle Tracy Galloway on all her socials if you want to just start off the new year's
Yeah.
with energy. Thank you, Merle Tracy. I appreciate you. Let's all send her
Thank you.
love,
Thank
gratitude,
you.
blessings, and best of prayers. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Big hugs. All right, guys, let's keep it going and flowing. Feel free to rub your hands, get that energy going and flowing. You can place your hand on your heart, hand on your belly. Let's take a conscious deep belly breath. And release. And know that everyone speaking here are healers. Even though Merle Tracy was speaking health stuff, guess what? You're also getting activations and healings and inspiration and downloads and all that kind of stuff. So what I would like to do just at the end of every talk is just take a few breaths to like integrate, come back to self, come back to body. So let's take another deep belly breath. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Hold.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello. I'm not sure if I'm glitching or you are, Tariq. So hello everyone. I think you guys can hear me. I'm not sure if Tariq is glitching or myself. So Nutririni, you said that you can hear me. All right. I think let's begin then. So yeah, once again, hello everyone. I'm Vin, and I am an infinity healer. I'm also a part-time practitioner, and essentially what I do is I like to do a lot of clearings. I work with my spirit team, and that consists of my oversoul as well as my many different aspects of dragons, crows, swans as well, and yeah, there's much more. So what I'm going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some clearings for you, and how this is going to work is I'm just going to do a general scan just to see what needs to be lifted and what needs to be cleared, and then we will bring in some light language as meant and appropriate, just to remove anything that needs to be cleared with specific targeting on any of the attachments and any entities as well that may be bothering anyone. As a rule of thumb, if bad things are happening around, you can assume that there's bad energy around. So we're going to try to rectify that moving forward. So I think let's get right to it, and then we can come in with some questions afterwards. So cool. I'm going to invite everyone to take a deep breath in and exhale. Close your eyes. As we now set the space, Mother, Father, God is mentioned as appropriate. We ask for the anchoring ground with the divine source and the sense of Mother Earth for myself and everyone on this call, including the replay. We ask that our chakras and auras to be anchored, grounded, balanced, harmonized, sealed, and protected. That the violet flame of transmutation reinforces our bodies so that all which is absent of love, all that does not serve our highest good, all which is not ours to be burdened with, is reflected off our shields to be transmuted onto the divine source, as meant and as appropriate for all. We connect only to the highest and the purest and nothing more. So take another deep breath in and exhale. As we now connect everyone to source above, connect and bringing that energy all the way into your skull, going down your neck, filling up your arms, filling up the rest of your body, going down through your legs, and extend your roots all the way to Gaia, the center of Mother Earth. And connect and bring that energy back up to your feet, going up your spine, filling up your body, filling up your arms, filling up your neck, filling up your face, your skull, and your brain, and send that energy back up all the way to source, establishing your connection to above and below. Now bring your awareness into your heart space and connect with the love from your soul. And allow that energy to now expand throughout your entire body, expand past the room that you're in, past your home, and extending all the way into the edges of the universe, connecting to all that is. And bringing in the violet flame to seal and protect you. as we now call upon the teams. So bringing in the highest of the high, a team of divine workers, spirit guides, master guides, and descendant masters, angels and archangels of the highest hierarchy, powers, principalities, thrones, dominions, and virtues, cherubim, seraphim, and all other appropriate spirits and entities that are pure heart that need to be here for this session. I call upon my team of dragons, lions, crows, and swans, loved ones that have crossed over, interdimensional light workers, ancestral guardian guides, and gods. Also bringing in the teams of everyone here on this call and on the replay as meant and as appropriate. We give permission to allow you to intervene and intercede on our behalf to give assistance in any which way that you can. So please create a sacred space, inner space, and inner time with a fully reflective shield on the outside so that this space is not free of any AI, animation, extracting, rejection forces. Thank you for your loving service. So take another deep breath in. Exhale. And we ask the teams to now connect to each and every one of us. I'm asking them to clear any black magic, any spells, any curses, any thought forms, any detrimental energies, seeds, tentacles, and attachments, jinxes, hexes, jealousy, envy, everything clear. And asking the team to now create a dragon egg around your auric field to shield and protect you from any detrimental external energies. And focusing on your body now, we can clear any external influences and the effects of that. Clear. And we can now clear any internal influences, negative self-talk, self-doubt, judgment upon yourself. So clear that all the way it has affected you detrimentally. And we can ask the team to now scan your body and energy field for any other attachments and any other entities. So team scan. And take a deep breath as we now begin to clear them. Isiki uluruna kreta shetolo kratsiela kreta ulo kretsiela utsurula itsindar ko tolo kretsela umorge teshiarla selekar otolo krotsiela krelekar utsulo krola kiteshitsela kra zelekar umorge teshitsiela kar utolo krotsinala urwaina kra zurulo krotoshudola tishitala kar utsulo kro selal krela kar umorla kiteshela krenala urunsinla kulaki setala krotoshutorla kreteshitsela umrotoshu setala kromola tsela kreteshela utsela kreteshia Orola korota sila kata tala kurutsolo koroshiti marla kurutsolo korana hishala ku utale kitishintar isi korolo korana siar ku tola kra loro wala kitishitela undoro koretishindar la kuwai sitishikla insila korota ta kitishurla. Okay, deep breath in, and we're just going to scan through your timeline and clear any of these beliefs and events that have contributed to attracting these kinds of patterns. To scan and release kurlo creație ter la un solo che ti sciție tot la tar lo presin dar ka morko la kare te shetor lo wai ta la un sor ki siti shikta la un to lo un solo ko ti shetor la kar siklo umor ko ti shikta la umor ti ție si ki ti shikla un to lo to shukol la ta la un to lo mori dar tanalla ko un chi karka ta ko Your team scan for any curses in present lifetimes, clear that now. Clear the curses in past lifetimes now. Clear any parallel lifetimes now. and clear any and all effects from any power realities, any bleed through, seal and protect, clear now. Okay, tuning into the beliefs, and if there's anything that's attracting entities, clear that now. And if there's any way that the entities may have affected you, any way that they have stopped your progress, so clear the effects of that on your psyche, on your emotional and mental well-being. And you ask any detrimental soul contracts to come through. You scan and clear that. You breathe in and exhale. You can seal the timelines. And bringing the energy of forgiveness, forgiveness towards others, forgiveness causes, forgiveness towards entities, and forgiveness towards yourself. And we ask for inspiration, harmonize your auric field, and bringing in the red fire dragon to seal and protect your aura, your inholds. And now bringing in source love to fill any gaps that may have been created from what was released. Bringing in the green dragon to anchor and ground you. Okay, take a deep breath in. Exhale. And gently bring yourself back to the now, back to this moment. As you open your eyes. Thank you, and so it is. How is everyone feeling? So cool. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I just want to read the comment. So yeah, let's speak about. Oh, you're back. Great.
Yeah, sorry, brother. The internet literally just was fine the whole time. And then as soon as I was trying to do the intro for you, it completely disconnected.
Yeah. So you might see me popping in and out in the background just before I can join, and then it just started glitching.
All good. I'm glad you held it down and continued. That was so powerful, brother. Thank you. Please continue.
No, thank you. Yeah. So I just wanted to see the comments, and This is
I
a
think people are
question,
just
and
taking a moment to like come back. But my experience was I just felt I just had to lie down and I just feel like reset, cleansed, like more powerfully connected. Like everything looks lighter and brighter. Thank
that's
you.
amazing.
And but before they start sharing, I just want to share literally a week ago or a week and a bit or less than a week ago, I was just feeling super drained and low energy. And I reached out to Vinolan reached out to me. I reached out to him and he's like, he hopped on a call immediately when I needed help. And I have a hard time asking for help sometimes. And we did a session and it was so powerful. He was just telling me there's these dark entities that were trying to like affect me in a negative way, and that he brought in the dragon energies and did a powerful boundary clearing, and it brought a lot of insight and awareness to something that's been going on since childhood. And sometimes these things are intergenerational, sometimes they're like many lifetimes. So I'd love it if you can speak on some of that, if that feels inspiring for you.
Oh, sure. So what I like to focus on, and yes, entity clearing does form a big part of that, because um, they're always with us, and they're in other lifetimes, and we are also entities as well. I mean, if we really have to think about it, we are an entity that we have a physical body, and some of these other beings, they don't have a physical body. So um, there are instances where they try to experience the physicality by just hitching a ride onto you, and just trying to whisper and do all kind of weird stuff so that they can actually um, get that experience again. So it's nothing to be afraid of, because at the end of the day, we are all sovereign beings. And the good thing about being here in this physicality is that we can choose our experiences, and we can choose to once again remember our sovereignty, and therefore clear ourselves and as well as other people. Um, so I just want to tune in to see what comes through. Try to do that, okay, good, so that I know exactly what to talk. I think a lot of the time, what's going on massively with people, mostly some of the people that you might know, is this depression as well as self-doubt. And it's easy to tell someone, just snap out of it. But it's not always the case. I know many who have suffered with depression, for example, for many years, like more than 10 years, until they have to back themselves out. So what do we do in that kind of situations? What humans are good at doing is we hold space. So by holding the space for ourselves, by holding space for other people, we can actually help them to clear these sort of things and these sort of energies, so that better decisions can then be taken. Uh, at the end of the day, you just want to bring it light. And the more of your shadows you work on, the more you clear, more love you can then bring to yourself and to everyone around you, so that you can affect change in a massive, massive way.
Vinolan, did it freeze on your end? Here, let's try this one. Look, we just cloned Vinolan. There's two Vinolans now.
Not back.
It's powerful, more powerful than one Vinolan, two Vinolans. Yeah, I hear what you were saying, bro. Nothing to fear. I feel like we're in a time now. I don't know if people have, if it's clicked in for folks now, that it's like, the darker forces are going full steam ahead. So I'm curious to know. I know that they're terrified of us remembering who we are. Like, I know that they're so scared of the fact that we are now starting to remember who we really are and how powerful we are and the power of our love. And I'm curious to know, if you have any insights on tools for protection for a lot of our warriors of love and empaths, and also so not just on the defensive, but on the offensive, not meaning fighting the dark, but like leading, like how can we protect ourselves, and how can we really make the biggest impact with our power and with our love.
Mhm. So when I started many years ago with energy field, whatever I could learn on, I just did it. But what I failed to do, and this was for a very long time, what I failed to do was the very basics, which is you anchor and you ground. So essentially what that means is you connect to source and you connect to Gaia and you establish that channel. And this is something that you need to do daily. Okay. It's going to help you to be more present. It's going to help you with your energy field. It's going to help you with channeling. It's going to help you with tuning into your team. Because once you anchor and ground, you bring in your team and you're asking for protection. Your team is always around you. And that's what one of the powerful things of infinity healing is that you give your teams a mission to help you when you say yes. So when you ask for infinity healing to be activated, and you say yes, and you ask for the perfect energies and perfect beings, this also includes your team of divine light workers. They will come through, even the higher self will come through, and you give them permission. So anchoring and grounding, it is a must. The other thing that also helped me as well, Tariq, would have been the infinity healing light body attunement. So just a quick comment on that one. There was a time where I was fulfilling a soul contract, and essentially I used to clear on a weekly basis between 70 and 100 spirits, sending them into the light. But on that specific day, which was a Wednesday, what used to happen is I used to get massive headaches. I used to get very agitated. I used to snap at my family members as well. And that was because, well, I never used to do anything grounding that. So but the infinity healing light body attunement did help me. And once we activated that, I was able to feel more of myself. I was shielded, I was protected, I was contained within my own energy so that I could actually decide what it is that I want to do going forward. So it's a simple thing, anchoring, grounding, and then use your intent. It's easy to say, look, let's create a white bubble and shield ourselves. But if you don't feel strong within, then the light bubble is only going to take you so far. Ultimately, you want to get to a state where you feel comfortable within yourself, where you know it's okay, where you know that you're divine, you're protected. And this can come about by being mindful of your situation, being mindful of your thoughts, and literally just practice. Go for it, you know? So, first, okay, I just want to read this. Sorry, what are your thoughts on prosperity DNA before we can have a force stop or block? Prosperity DNA. Okay, this is my understanding of DNA, what it is. Okay, so DNA is advice of source management. Okay, and what it also does is it tunes into specific fields of energy based on what's on and what's off in your DNA. So those fields of energy is what we sometimes refer to as or morphogenetic fields. And it's a concept created by Rupert Sheldrake. Very, very interesting fields of study. So your DNA can tune into prosperity if it's switched on. But once again, as I mentioned before, sometimes there's bad energy, then bad things are going to happen. And if there's good energy, good things are going to happen. I had crazy, crazy bad luck all the way into my 20s because I discovered that there was a curse against me. And from even before I was born, it was cursed for myself, for my siblings, my family. And only after I broke the curse in my early 20s, then I could see things kind of opening up. So opportunities started showing up. I had more focus. Uh, I was able to remember things much more clearly. And yeah, sometimes people can block it, but at the end of the day, it depends on the individual and it depends on the scenario as well. Where are you in your journey? Where do you want? So Sometimes you do need help. It's always useful to go to help. I also go to help when needed. But more before you actually go to help, you try to fix the problem yourself because that's how we grow and that's how we develop. What happens nowadays is that a lot of people they want other people to solve their problems before trying to solve it themselves. That is only going to take you so far. It's only when you start digging deep into yourself, try to understand what it is that you are about, then you can actually make a tremendous impact, not just on yourself, but the people around you. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, I just want to go into that comment for a bit. So let's speak about self-defense, okay? Self-defense, ultimately, when you anchor and when you ground, you want to be in a state where you are naturally just strong. You don't need to defend against anything. When you say, I want to now defend against the dark or defend against this or that, there's anything that can harm you, what you're doing is you're engaging into a state of duality, okay? And if you really connect to source, source is encompassing of everything. Source doesn't have any duality, which is why with my clearings, what I do is if there's entities or anything that's say involved, uh, what I do is I take them literally aside. I have a chat with them. You may hear that in the light language, or sometimes it is in English. We do clearing and healing for them, and then we send them to where they need to go. That is for the hospital. And infinity healing as well. It also works on entities and spirits. Just on a side note, but for example, being a house clearing and you get stuck energies or any tricky spirits that don't want to get into the light, you can offer them an infinity healing. You can clear them from the issues and then they can happily go into the light. But going back to this thing about protection, yes, grounding protection is a must, but you don't want to be engaging into that state of duality. You want to be comfortable where you are. You just want to be. There's no need to fight. There's no need to um, just really angry about things because when you start to find that those things are coming out and you just want to clear entities and you just want to slay evil, then more often than not, you have an AI implant in you that is driving you to clear these kind of stuff. Everything is love. So tuning to that, just be, and by being naturally strong within yourself, there's really nothing that's going to affect. So you've been Star Traveler, you've been asking for help from your team, but things aren't changing. You need to clear more of your energy. Well, let's get specifically what kind of help have you been asking them? Were you being specific enough, or were you just saying, please help me? Uh, Another thing that you want to ask yourself is sometimes when people ask for help, they say, I want help for my highest good. You don't always know what your highest good is. And at the end of the day, if you really look at this grand experiment that's been played with Source as well, everything is your highest good, whether it's good or bad, because of the multidimensional nature of things. You're not really going to know which is your highest good. Rather, you want to tune into specifics. So call in your teams and say, look, let me set the space. I have this, and this project. I require this help. So please open the ways for this to happen. Please bring the opportunities. Please bring the right people at the right time. And then you yourself want to be in a receptive mode. People are afraid to drop down their guards and hence they don't really receive. And that's another great thing about infinity healing is because you can also remove and release the blocks to receiving. And sorry, I just want to get to this question. Yeah, sorry. Release the blocks to receiving, and that is for your highest good. So going back to that thing of keeping your guards up. Once again, if you engage in duality, you're not going to let in the gifts that are there present for you. So try to get specific about the Star Traveler. So yeah, that once again, yeah, you do get forces that stop and block your environment flow, but ultimately you want to engage within yourself and do self work, do shadow work, and let's see, Kiana. Okay, so there's this concept that's called interlocking karma. So with that, if you have karmic implications just within yourself, that means broadcasting a signal into the rest of the world to say, I have a force that's stopping and blocking me, then that's what you're going to attract. So give yourself some compassion, release those beliefs, and really bring everything to a state of love. And then once you're going to see, and you're going to find that those forces, they're not really going to bug you that much. Okay, how can we learn to be more patient for the divine life purposes? Patience is practice at the end of the day. So what is it that is avoiding you from being in the current moment? So that's where you're going to have to look at. Essentially, when you're impatient is because you're anticipating things, you want to bring the future here and now, but you're really missing the point of what really is going on in the moment. And that could be various reasons, maybe because at that specific point in time, you've actually manifested something that's not to your desire, or you just feel that nothing is happening. It's like, when will it come? When will it come? When will it come? Um, it's a well-known thing about when we speak about the law of attraction, but at the end of the day, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So until you're patient and until you practice that, that's the only time you're going to receive what it is that you're asking. Divine life's purpose is something that could also be very interesting if you want to play with it. But essentially, in life, what you want to do is you want to be happy. So when you're doing the things that's going to make you happy, you're doing the things that's going to fill you up with love, then you are living a divine life purpose. So go back to your inner child stuff. What is it that you want to be, for example, when you grow up? What is it that you want to do? How is it that you want to interact with the people around you? So I hope that helps, but mostly in the USA.
Vinolan, a lot of our audience are afraid to step into their full power, full healer, get themselves out there, fear of being judged, fear of being seen. I'm curious to know, especially you as a healer who's like, who like delves into these, dragon energy clearing, entities and that realm that people are so afraid of, and it's so misunderstood, like you said earlier, like coming from a non-dual place. I'm curious to know, what tips would you have to share with folks in terms of not caring what people think, getting yourself out there, claiming who you're here to be, what you're here to do, fully?
That's a good question. I think let's start with some of your advice, Tariq. If you feel afraid about something, then you should go and do it. Ultimately, that is going to be a greater satisfaction when you overcome that. But moving into these other patterns where you're afraid of getting out there, we the fear comes in is because you feel that whatever it is that you're going to do, people are not going to accept you. People are going to make fun of you. You're going to feel embarrassed. At the end of the day, these are just programs. These are just things that can be released. I would suggest either any good healing technique can work. Infinity healing, whether it's like language, whether it's emotional healing technique. EFT is something that I've also done for many years before I got introduced to infinity healing. So you call in your shadows, and then you want to put yourself into worst case scenarios in your mind, because at the end of the day, it's your mind is kind of limiting you. So if you were to visualize, for example, let's say you have a fear of public speaking. So have a conversation with someone one-on-one in your mind, okay, and then bring in two people, and then notice where your triggers are, and then you can clear that. So how do you clear it? With energy healing, with EFT, with light language, any which way that you can. You can even breathe through those energies. Then you bring in 10 people in your mind and notice how you feel. Notice where the stuckness of the energy is. And you can breathe in light through it, and eventually those energies will start to dissipate. Then you bring in more and more people. So you start filling up the whole room with 100 people, with 1,000 people. And what you want to do is gradually expand the boundaries of your mind, because that's where the limitation is. Once again, it's in your mind. You expand it, and then you breathe through it, and you allow it, and then eventually you're going to reach a state where you will get to understand that it doesn't matter what people believe about you. It doesn't matter what people think about you, because it's none of their business. And this is the thing about having free will. I'm free to think whatever it is that I want, and people are free to think whatever it is that they want to think about me. I don't care anymore. And it's just because I trust myself, and I know and I feel who I am, and what I'm here to do. So for me, it's just I'm here to do the business. And if people do have a problem with that, it's their business. It's got nothing to do with you. So I'm not sure if that helps us, if I could answer that sufficiently, but it's what I have for the moment.
Yeah, brother. Definitely helpful. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to share. I love what you've shared so far, and I love the non-duality, um, claiming our power, healthy boundaries, working with our guides and angels. Maybe for someone who's really not sure, how do I connect with my guides and angels? How often? What are the steps? Any tips on that?
Sure, yeah. The first thing we started is once again anchoring the home. So uh, we extend your awareness like from the top of your head, like you can send the silver thread all the way back to source. So how do you connect to source? You just intend. I intend to connect to source, and then that's what you do. You go, you use your visualization, and the reason you use the visualization is to also give your subconscious and your conscious mind something to do and something to understand. So however you want to establish that connection, uh, it is totally up to you. So connect to source above, connect to God below, bring the energies, and then calling your team. So how do you call in your team? In the same way that I'm having a conversation with you now, is exactly the same way you would call them in. So you would say, team, come in. It's as simple as that. But what you want to do is, I know a lot of people do get into a meditative state. Try the opposite. Try to get excited about what it is that you're going to achieve. So really raise your energy. So with spirit integration, for example, I have integrated with some of my aspects, as well as some of my other dragon guides as well. So the way to do that is you raise your energy level up, and the dragon will, your guides, they will kind of lower their energy levels, and you'll meet halfway. So the way to increase your energy level is by thinking positive thoughts. But the easiest way is to just get really excited about what it is that you want to do at the moment. And the simplest data source for that is your memories. So think about a time when you're excited. Think about the time when you're really anticipating something amazing was going to happen. And then you start to get lighter automatically. And when you do that, your energy level is raised. Then simply say, okay, cool team. I ask for you to come in and let me feel your energy. So ask them to give you space. You can call them in one at a time. Ask your master guide to come through and really have the conversation and listen. The important thing is listening, and the important thing is to drop your guard so that you can let it in. Because when you declare that there's a safe space around you, then it is safe. So there's nothing really to fear. Guided visualizations can also help. Many years ago, when this is a funny story, because I wanted to learn the name of my guide, and this is more than 20 years ago. Jason, my main guide, coming through, say, cool. I get into a visualization. I go to a beach and I meet this beautiful being, and I ask her what's her name, and she gives me the name is Lyra. And I, at that point, I didn't even know what Lyra was. I didn't know what the Lyrans or the Lurans are, however you want to pronounce it. And fast forward like 20 years later, uh, I had a session with a psychic, and she says, look, there's a female energy around. She's always checking in on you. And she says she's from Lyra. And then that's when it clicked that, look, this energy being has always been here. So, long story short, just engage in conversation and really listen. Pay attention to your heart space. If you feel that you're not really listening, you can't really hear, Ask your guides to communicate with the reality around you, and then pay attention to that. For example, you'll hear names on the radio, you'll hear synchronicities, you'll start to see angel numbers. Communication is not just having a vocal conversation, it's also feeling as well, as well as figuring out this language of what is really going on with this reality that is around you. It is interactive. You just got to show up and play with that. I hope that answers that question.
Beautiful, bro. Thank you. And I would love to conclude with shadow work. So I feel sometimes when I've kind of, working with healers for the last 13 years, knowing that they've had traumas. And at one point I had the thought that I wonder if entities negatively influenced our surroundings to allow for the traumas that happened to us to kind of, you know, give a hit on, like, to lower our self-confidence, self-worth, or light, dim our light, all that kind of stuff. And almost everyone said, yeah, they did feel that there were some influences to try to get at them when they were at their most vulnerable. And the people that were manipulated to do negative, harmful things to them were the ones that were, let's say, more in their ego or more damaged or more easily manipulated. So I'm curious to know, and then after that, the result is not feeling worthy of love, not feeling deserving, not feeling good enough, fearful, keeping to yourself, all these kind of things. So I'm curious to know, how do we, if in our shadow, believe we're not good enough, not worthy, not deserving, if we don't even feel worthy of source, God, universal love, healing energies. The other day I was meditating and I was like, I pray that all beings know how, that we're all worthy of source's infinite love, that we're all deserving, that we're all, like, we project onto source, God, universe, a judgmental, critical, parent-like, a way of being. But unconditional love is a real thing. Infinite unconditional love is maybe the only real thing. So how do we remember that this infinite self version of ourselves, or source, God, universe's love is infinite? How do we clear the mindset that says, oh, I have to be good in order to receive that, I have to be perfect, I have to not make any mistakes, and things like that, and any other shadow work tips that you have?
So Tariq, the simplest way to do shadow work is, get into those dark portions of yourself which usually feels unloved. All right. So I mean, we know what they are, and sometimes we're too afraid to look at it. But really, really get down into it. Notice what blocks that you are having around in your life, and more often than not, there's a shadow there. So when you get into that and you locate it, you'll normally feel it physiologically in your body, because that's where some of the darkness lies. And that's also your body's way of saying, okay, here's a problem here. So your body can either be in a state of pain, or you can feel that uncomfortable feeling, for example, if you have that lump in your throat, that kind of thing. And then you ask source to come in and just clear that. So you can ask your team to come in, you can ask source to come in and say, clear this. You be present. You breathe through it. And you allow. And the important thing is not judge. Get away from the idea of having things instantly fixed. Get away from the idea of instant gratification. It is a process, it does take time. So engage in that relationship with your team, engage in that relationship with source, just ask and allow, and you're going to surprise yourself. The other thing that you can do is remember that our reality around us tends to be created by our belief structures. So you may have an overlying belief that says, I'm not worthy of love. Okay? You may have another overlying belief that says, look, bad stuff always happens to me, or it's Murphy's Law is my friend, because if something can go wrong, then it is going to go wrong. So establish and write down, what do you think about the world? right? You put that into a little circle. So just draw a list and just put it into a little circle. So that's your belief there. Now you're going to have something that's called a meta belief, which is something that's going to lie outside of all of that stuff. For example, as much as you believe that the sun is not going to rise, it's always going to rise and it is going to set. Well, really, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here, is create a meta rule that says it does not matter what negative beliefs, what negative thoughts I think about myself. At the end of the day, I am divinely loved by Source. I'm unconditionally loved by Source. Irrespective of what I think, irrespective of what I believe, Source is always there for me. Source always has my back. And then take a deep breath in and really try to understand and integrate what that means. It means that it doesn't matter if you're feeling bad at that moment because you're still worthy of love. It doesn't matter if you feel that the whole world is against you. That's only a belief. At the end of the day, there are divine laws in place, and you're still divinely loved. So, yeah, it's those two things that helped me. It would have been that, right? Would have been calling the teams, calling in Source to clear that shadows, as well as creating a nice metro rule. And that metro rule can be anything that you want. So repeat it as often as you can, feel it, really get to the feeling state of what that means. And when you get to the place where it actually clicks, that there's really nothing for you to do, then you know that you're there.
Thank you, Brother Vinolan. Tons of great information. I appreciate you. That activation was amazing. Please, guys, feel free to revisit it. Please feel free to share it. Know that we'll be uploading all of these individual talks on my podcast, which can be found on all streaming platforms. You just type in Tarek BB from 5D to Infinity. And it's on Spotify too. You can follow me there. And yeah, Vinolan, what do you've got going on? What programs? How are you best serving your clients right now, and how can people reach you?
So yeah, if somebody wants to get a hold of me, you can email support@vindragonheart.com. But my most busiest platform at the moment is on TikTok, where I go there as often as I can, as like almost every day if I can, just depending on what's going on throughout the day. But yeah, it's generally healings or a few things that's also paid as well. But yeah, my handle is Vin_Dragonheart, and every now and again we do have some events just coming up on Facebook, either private Zoom sessions or Power of Three events with other lifetime facilitators. Um, but yeah, that's essentially it. Sorry.
Beautiful, brother. I appreciate your time and energy. Thanks for coming here, blessing us with your wisdom, with your energy, with your being, and with your activations. So helpful. I put the link below, Vin_Dragonheart. Follow him on TikTok. And yeah, let's all send him a big thank you, blessings, prayers, good intentions, good vibes. Thanks, Vinolan. And also, yeah, I mean, I wanted to celebrate all the people that I've had the privilege of getting to work with for for a longer time. And you're one of our students that we worked with. I'm curious to know, for any healers out there that feel like they are not able to make as much money as they think, or get as many clients, or really step into who they're here to be, what they're here to do. I'm curious to know, based on the work that we've done together, or just based on your own manifestations, what would you want to say to that person that doesn't feel they can really take it to the next level?
Look, I would say don't give up. At the end of the day, you want to really get to the depth of who you are and really understand why is it that you're doing what it is that you do. It's not about the clients, it's about you. And when you stand within yourself and you stand and show the world, this is what I am, this is who I am, those clients are going to come to you. It's at the end of the day, it's your soul contracts that you're going to need to fulfill, that you're going to need to elevate the other person. That's why they're going to come to you. So yes, the marketing is going to help. You do the basics, that's going to help. But ultimately, it's going to be all you. You stand in your power, you own who you are, you be who you are, and the rest is going to fall into place.
Mhm. Beautiful. So there's a Facebook group that we put here, Vinolin's Facebook group. I think it's the healing group. And then Star Traveler says, thank you for your healing and that helpful explanation. Star Travel sends her love. Ozzy in the USA says, thanks so much, Vin. Danielle says, thank you, Vin. And yeah, so that was the Facebook group. This is Vinolin's actual Facebook, Vinolin, VINOLAN.PONNAN. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Tariq. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's been great.
Brother. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's conclude with another breath. Feel free to just bring all your energy back into your body. And at the count of 3, we'll take a deep belly breath. Let's keep that link there for you guys to check out his Facebook. Take a deep belly breath. And release. Take another deep belly breath. Are you guys still hearing water, or was that just that one time? Take another deep belly breath. And release. Take another deep belly breath. And release. Thanks, Nurjarini. We've got his Instagram there as well. Instagram.com Instagram.com/VinolinPonin. So guys, this concludes day 2 of the Spring Equinox retreat. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to have some really special guests, really take things to the next level. But yeah, just celebrate, like Merle Tracy said, celebrate your wins. Yay, we did it. We did the 3 hours here, and celebrating the fact that we learned a lot from our moon goddess, Lindsay, from Merle Tracy, from Vinolan, about entities, about shadow selves, connecting with our guides and angels, dragon medicine. We learned about self-care practices, nurturing ourselves, empowerment. We learned about health, vibrancy, health hacks, special foods and detoxifications, and celebrating the wins, and healthy boundaries. So many amazing reminders of all the things we can do to better ourselves. Oh yeah, there's still water. Okay, tomorrow I'll use my microphone and earphones. It should like, is it really loud? Anyways, thank you. So for anyone who is interested in taking their business to the next level, like many of the guests that we've had that I've had the privilege of working with, I'm going to put a link here below. It's tarekbibi.com, TAREKBIBI.com, for those listening on Spotify, /healing. And then when you click on that link, it's going to take you to the bottom. Thank you. It's 2:00. It's going to take you to, just scroll to the bottom, and then it'll take you to a form. And if you want to take your business to the next level, you want to make a big difference in the world, you want to experience more freedom and empowerment, create more options for you as we transition into this new earth, create more of a groundedness, security, so we can be a grounded, anchored force as the world goes through chaos. And through that chaos, may we continue to share our light, our power, our beauty, our creativity. If you need support with that, feel free to click on that link, tarekbibi.com/healing. And I can, if you qualify, I'll hop on a call with you this Friday, taking in three calls, and then we can find out more about where you're at, where your business is, what your goals are, and help you reach that. And I mean, we're averaging, we're averaging minimum, maximum 3 months. Like within 3 months, most of our clients are experiencing significant changes. Oh, you didn't hear it, but you saw the water. It's not really loud. So many insights. Thanks for facilitating, Tarek. You're very welcome, Danielle. Really appreciating this. Thanks, Tarek, Nurjarin, and everyone. You're very welcome, Ozzy in the USA. So do you still say how you going, or have you evolved? Have you adapted to the how are you doing, Ozzy in the USA? I'm curious. It seems to have the corpo causal. I don't know what that means, but it sounds deep. I'll look it up. Bless, bless, bless. See you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Keep shining. Stay sovereign. Show the world what we're made of. Let's do this. Love warriors. Thank you. I see you. And I appreciate you.